Daeho Kim looked out the small window of his transport ship. The massive space station grew larger as they got closer. Station Omega-7 was huge. It looked like a metal city floating in space. Lights blinked on its surface like stars. First time. "Seeing the Deathworld Council station?" asked Taemin Park. He sat across from Daeho, checking his notes one more time. "Yes," Daeho said. "It's bigger than I thought it would be." Daeho was a colonel in the Earth Defense Force. He had spent years in the Australian desert, learning to survive in the heat and dangerous wildlife. The government picked him to represent Earth at this meeting. He was not sure why the council wanted to meet humans, but he was ready. Tae-min was a scientist who studied alien life. He brought files and data about Earth. His job was to help Daeho answer any questions the council might have. The transport ship docked with a loud clang. Metal doors opened with a hiss. Cool air rushed in. Daeho straightened his uniform and walked forward. The docking bay was enormous. The ceiling was so high that Daeho could barely see it. Strange aliens moved around doing their work. Some had scales, others had too many eyes. A few looked like they were made of rock. "Welcome to Station Omega-7, said a voice. Daeho turned to see a tall alien walking toward them. It had blue skin and 4 arms. Its eyes were yellow and very large. "I am Guide Nexila. The council is waiting for you." "Thank you," Daeho said. "I am Colonel Daeho Kim. This is Dr. Taemin Park." Nexila nodded with 2 of its heads. "Follow me. Do not touch anything. Do not speak unless spoken to. The council members are very important." They walked through long halls. The walls were covered with symbols and pictures. Daeho saw images of planets. Some were covered in fire. Others were dark and frozen. A few looked like they were made of poison gas. "Those are the homeworlds," Nexila explained. "Each council member comes from a Class X death world. Only the strongest species survive such places." "What makes a world Class X?" Tae-min asked. Nexila stopped walking. Its 4 eyes stared at Tae-min. "You will learn soon enough." They reached a large door. It was made of black metal and covered with warning signs. Nexila pressed its hand against a scanner. The door slowly opened. The council chamber was dark. 5 seats formed a circle in the center. Strange beings sat in each seat. Lights shone down on them from above. Daeho and Taemin were led to 2 small chairs in the middle. "So," a rough voice said, "these are the humans." Daeho looked up. A large, reptile-like alien stared down at him. Its skin was dark red and covered in thick scales. Heat seemed to rise from its body. "I am Veltar of Purion 3, the alien said. "My world burns with constant fire. The ground melts into lava every day. We drink liquid metal to survive." Another voice spoke. This one sounded like clicking insects. "I am Keshara of Koros. My planet rains acid that dissolves steel. The air burns your lungs with every breath. We eat rocks because nothing else can grow." A third voice was like grinding stone. "I am Brundock of Gamma Terminus. My world is bathed in radiation. The light from our sun kills most life in seconds. We are made of living rock because flesh cannot survive." 2 more council members introduced themselves. Each one described horrible worlds where nothing should live. Yet somehow they had not only survived but built great civilizations. "And you," Veltar said, pointing at Daeho, "come from Earth. A garden world. A soft place where water falls from the sky and plants grow in dirt." The other council members made sounds that might have been laughter, but it was not friendly laughter. "We invited you here to satisfy our curiosity," Keshara clicked. "We wanted to see these creatures who think they are tough, who believe they deserve to sit with real survivors. Your species sent messages claiming Earth is dangerous," Brundock rumbled. "This amuses us. We have studied your world. It is a paradise compared to our homes." Daeho felt his anger rise, but he kept calm. Years of military training helped him stay cool under pressure. "You think Earth is soft?" he asked. "We know it is," Veltar said. "Your planet is covered in liquid water. You breathe pure oxygen. Your sun does not burn your skin. You live in luxury and call it survival. Taemin started to speak, but Dae-ho held up his hand. He stood slowly and looked at each council member. You want to know about Earth? Dae-ho asked. You want to understand why humans think our world is dangerous? Entertain us, Keshara clicked. Tell us about your gentle world. Dae-ho smiled. It was not a happy smile. Very well. Let me tell you about Earth weather. He walked to the center of the circle. The council members leaned forward, ready to be amused by tales of soft human problems. Our storms create winds that move at 300 miles per hour, Dae-ho began. They are called tornadoes. They lift entire buildings into the air and throw them for miles. Veltar's eyes narrowed. Impossible. No natural wind moves that fast. We also have hurricanes, Dae-ho continued. These storms are bigger than your cities. They bring walls of water that flood entire regions. The wind and rain can last for days. Surely you hide underground when this happens, Brundock asked. Some do, but millions of humans live in areas where these storms happen every year. We build our cities there anyway. We warn people when storms come, but we do not leave. The council members shifted in their seats. They were not laughing anymore. Lightning strikes our planet 8 million times every day, Dae-ho said. Each bolt carries enough electricity to power your ship. The temperature of lightning is hotter than the surface of our sun. And you live under this? Keshara's voice was quieter now. We work under it. We play under it. Our children go to school during thunderstorms. Taemin opened his tablet and showed pictures. Images of humans walking in heavy rain appeared on screens around the chamber. Children splashed in puddles while lightning flashed in the sky behind them. This is impossible, Veltar whispered. No creature willingly stays exposed to such danger. Our planet's temperature changes by over 200 degrees depending on location and season, Dae-ho said. In some places, the air is so cold that your breath freezes instantly. In others, the heat can kill you in minutes. Humans live in both places. He showed them pictures of humans in thick winter coats walking through snow, then pictures of humans in deserts working under the blazing sun. We have humans who choose to live in these extreme places, Taemin added. They are not forced to. They want to live there. The council chamber was very quiet now. The only sound was the hum of the station's air system. Perhaps, Brundock said slowly, your species is more interesting than we thought. This is just our weather, Dae-ho said. Would you like to hear about our earthquakes, our volcanoes, our wildlife? The 5 council members looked at each other. For the first time since humans arrived, they seemed uncertain. Continue, Veltar said. But his voice was not as confident as before. Dae-ho smiled again. This time, it was a real smile. He was just getting started. Outside the chamber, other aliens watched on screens. Word was already spreading through the station. The humans were not what anyone expected, and the council members, the strongest beings in known space, were starting to look very uncomfortable. The meeting was just beginning. Dae-ho looked at the 5 alien council members. They were not laughing anymore. Their eyes were wide with worry. You want to know more about Earth? He asked. Let me tell you about our oceans. Taemin touched his tablet. A new face appeared on the screens around the room. It was a young Korean woman with short black hair. She wore a blue diving suit and stood on a boat. This is So-Young Lee, Dae-ho said. She studies life in our oceans. Hello, So-Young said with a smile. I am speaking to you from the Pacific Ocean. The water here is 2 miles deep. Veltar leaned forward. 2 miles? That is impossible. The pressure would crush any living thing. Humans dive to these depths regularly, So-Young explained. We use special equipment, but yes, we go down there. The pressure is so strong it could flatten your spaceship like paper. She held up a small metal ball. This was a perfect sphere when we dropped it to the ocean floor. The water pressure did this to solid steel. The ball was now wrinkled like a crushed can. The council members stared in horror. And you go down there? Voluntarily? Keshara clicked nervously. For work and for fun, So-Young said. But that is not the dangerous part. Let me show you what lives in our oceans. The screen showed a huge shark swimming toward the camera. Its mouth was full of razor-sharp teeth, each one bigger than a human hand. This is a great white shark, So Young said calmly. It can bite with the force of 3 tons. One bite can cut a human in half. Surely you avoid these creatures, Brundock asked. Actually, some humans swim with them for entertainment. We call it cage diving. People pay money to get in the water with sharks. The aliens made sounds of disbelief. Veltar's scales were changing color from red to pale orange. Here is a box jellyfish, So Young continued. The screen showed a transparent creature floating in the water. It looked harmless. Its poison can kill a human in 3 minutes. The pain is so bad that people often die from shock before the poison kills them. And you swim in water with these things? Keshara's voice was getting higher. Millions of humans swim in the ocean every day, So Young said. We know about the dangers. We just accept them as part of life. The screen changed to show a massive wave crashing against a cliff. The water exploded upward like a white mountain. Our oceans create waves over 100 feet tall, So Young said. They can destroy ships made of metal. During storms, the waves get even bigger. No one could survive in such conditions, Veltar said weakly. Some humans surf these waves for sport, So Young replied. They ride wooden boards down the face of the wave. If they fall, the water can hold them underwater until they drown. She showed a video of a human on a surfboard racing down a wave taller than a building. The person looked tiny against the massive wall of water. This human is surfing a 60-foot wave, So Young said. If he makes one mistake, he dies. He does this because it makes him happy. The council chamber was silent except for the sound of Brundock's stone body grinding nervously. A new face appeared on screen. This was Jinwoo Choi, a man with glasses and a serious expression. He stood in front of what looked like a mountain, with smoke coming from the top. I am Jinwoo Choi, he said. I study earthquakes and volcanoes. Volcanoes? Veltar asked. You mean like the fire mountains on my world? Earth has over 1/500 active volcanoes, Jinwoo said. They can explode with the force of nuclear weapons. When they erupt, they shoot melted rock miles into the sky. The ash can block out the sun for months. He pointed behind him. This volcano behind me could explode at any time. The city below has 2 million people living in it. They do not leave? Keshara asked in shock. Why would they leave? This is their home, Jinwoo said. Humans have cities built on active volcanoes all over the world. We know the risks, but we stay anyway. The screen showed a city at the bottom of a mountain. Smoke rose from the peak above the houses and buildings. Our planet also shakes, Jinwoo continued. We call them earthquakes. The ground can split open. Buildings fall down. Sometimes entire cities are destroyed in minutes. And humans rebuild. In the same place? Brundock asked. Always, Jinwoo said. We have cities that have been destroyed by earthquakes dozens of times. We just build them again, stronger than before. He showed pictures of cracked ground and fallen buildings. Then, pictures of humans working together to rebuild everything. The most dangerous part is that we cannot predict exactly when these things will happen, Jinwoo said. Humans live every day knowing the ground might shake or the mountain might explode. We just continue with our normal lives. A third person appeared on screen. This was Hyunsoo Nam, a woman in a white coat standing in front of weather charts. I study Earth's atmosphere, she said. Our air is 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Most species cannot breathe pure oxygen for long periods. It becomes toxic. Toxic? Veltar repeated. Yes. Too much oxygen can damage the lungs and brain. But humans breathe it every second of every day for their entire lives. How do you survive? Keshara asked. Our bodies adapted to handle it, Hyunsoo said. We also live with atmospheric pressure that would be crushing to most species, and our magnetic field sometimes fails. What happens when it fails? Brundock asked nervously. Deadly radiation from space hits our planet directly. It can cause cancer and death. But it also creates beautiful lights in the sky that humans enjoy watching. She showed pictures of green and blue lights dancing across a dark sky. These are called aurora, Hyun-Soo explained. They happen when deadly space radiation interacts with our atmosphere. Humans travel thousands of miles just to see them. The 5 council members looked at each other with growing fear. What they thought was a paradise world was turning out to be a nightmare of constant danger. This is just our environment, Daeho said quietly. We have not even talked about the living things that share our planet with us. Veltar's scales had turned completely white. Keshara was making rapid clicking sounds that meant panic in her species. Brundok's rocky body was shaking. Perhaps, Veltar said in a weak voice, we should hear about your wildlife. Daeho smiled. I was hoping you would ask. The real horror was about to begin. Taemin stepped forward with his tablet. The screens around the council chamber lit up with new images. The first picture showed a tiny creature, almost too small to see clearly. This is a mosquito, Taemin said. It weighs almost nothing. It seems harmless. The 5 alien council members leaned closer to look at the small insect. This little creature kills more humans than any other animal on our planet, Taemin continued. It carries diseases that have killed hundreds of millions of people throughout human history. Something so small? Keshara clicked in disbelief. Earth is full of microscopic killers, Taemin said. Bacteria, viruses, parasites. They live inside human bodies. They fight wars in our blood every single day. A new face appeared on the screens. This was Min Ho-yoon, a doctor in a white coat. He stood in what looked like a medical room. I am Dr. Min Ho-yoon, he said. I fix humans when they break. Break? Veltar asked. Humans are very fragile, Minho explained. Our skin tears easily, our bones crack under pressure, we bleed when cut. Yet we live on a planet that constantly tries to damage our bodies. He held up a picture of human organs. This is the inside of a human. All these parts must work perfectly or the human dies. We have no backup systems like your species might have. How do you survive with such weak bodies? Brundok asked. We do not just survive, Minho said. We fix ourselves. When a human breaks, we cut them open and repair the damage. We replace broken parts with metal and plastic. The screen showed a video of human surgery. Doctors were cutting into a patient and working on the heart. This human's heart stopped working, Minho explained. So we are giving him a new one from another human who died. The council members made sounds of horror. The idea of cutting open a living being to fix it was beyond their understanding. We also inject humans with weakened diseases, Minho continued. This teaches their bodies how to fight the real disease later. You deliberately make your people sick? Keshara was clicking rapidly now. It prevents worse sickness, Minho said. Human parents bring their children to doctors specifically to be injected with diseases. Another person appeared on screen. This was Yoon-ji Kang, a scientist holding a test tube filled with green liquid. I study poisons, she said simply. The word poison made all 5 council members sit back in fear. Earth has thousands of poisonous plants and animals, Yoon-ji continued. This spider's bite can kill a human in 15 minutes. She showed a picture of a small black spider with a red mark on its back. This snake can kill an elephant with one bite, she said, showing a colorful snake. This plant will stop your heart. If you eat it, she added, holding up a pretty flower. Humans must carefully avoid all these dangers, Veltar said hopefully. Actually, we eat many of them, Yoon-ji said calmly. The silence in the council chamber was complete. This plant is deadly. Poisonous, she said, showing a green plant with large leaves. But if we prepare it correctly, it becomes food. We call it spinach. You eat poison? Brundok's voice was barely a whisper. This fish contains enough poison to kill 30 humans, Yoon-ji said, showing a picture of a round fish. Japanese humans consider it a delicacy. They pay extra money to eat it. The screen showed humans in a restaurant, happily eating the poisonous fish. Sometimes they die, Yoon-ji added. But they keep eating it anyway. A small child appeared on one of the screens. It was a boy about 8 years old playing outside. "This is my nephew Dong-hyun," Yoonji said. "He is 8 years old." The child was running around, laughing and playing with other children. "Human children are completely helpless when born," Yoonji explained. "They cannot walk, talk, or feed themselves. They would die in minutes without adult care." "How long before they can survive alone?" Keshara asked. "About 18 years, Yoonji replied. The council members made sounds of shock. No species they knew took that long to mature. "So humans raise helpless offspring for 18 years on this death planet?" Veltar asked. "Yes, and we let them play outside while they are still helpless." The screen showed children playing on tall metal structures, swinging from ropes, and running around unsupervised. "They climb high structures for fun," Yoonji said. "They swim in deep water. They run fast and jump over obstacles. Many get hurt, but we consider this normal childhood behavior." Dr. Minho appeared again. "I spend most of my time fixing injured children," he said. "Broken bones, cuts, burns. Human children hurt themselves constantly while playing." "And parents allow this?" Brundok asked in horror. "We encourage it," Minho said. "We believe children must learn to handle danger by experiencing it." A new person appeared on screen. This was Sunmi Bae, a woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "I study human minds," she said. "I help humans deal with fear and stress. Surely living on such a dangerous world creates constant terror." Keshara asked hopefully. "Humans adapt remarkably well," Sunmi said. "Most humans consider Earth beautiful and peaceful. They are happy here." "Happy?" Veltar's voice cracked. "Yes. Humans form emotional bonds with other species, even dangerous ones. They keep predators as pets. They care for poisonous plants in their homes. They find beauty in the same storms and earthquakes that could kill them." The screen showed humans petting large dogs, tending gardens full of thorny roses, and taking pictures of lightning. "The most interesting thing about humans," Sunmi continued, "is that they seek out additional danger for entertainment." "Additional danger?" all 5 council members asked at once. "They jump out of flying aircraft for fun. They climb tall mountains in freezing weather. They race vehicles at deadly speeds. They call these activities sports." The screens showed humans skydiving, mountain climbing, and racing cars. "Some humans dedicate their entire lives to these dangerous activities," Sunmi said. "They are not forced to do this. They choose it because it makes them feel alive." The council chamber was filled with the sound of Veltar hyperventilating, Keshara's panic clicking, and Brundok's stone body grinding in distress. "We have not finished," Daeho said quietly. "Would you like to hear about human history? About what humans do to each other?" The 5 most dangerous beings in the known galaxy looked at each other with pure terror in their eyes. "Please," Veltar whispered. "Continue." They had to know. Even though they were afraid, they had to understand what humans really were. Daeho walked slowly around the council chamber. The 5 alien members watched him with fearful eyes. Their confidence was completely gone now. "Everything I have told you so far," Daeho said, "is about Earth itself, the planet, the weather, the animals. But humans have faced an even more dangerous enemy." "What could be more dangerous than your Deathworld?" Veltar asked weakly. "Other humans," Daeho replied. The chamber fell silent. Even the station's humming seemed to stop. A new face appeared on the screens. This was Kyung-ho Han, an older man with gray hair and serious eyes. He stood in front of shelves full of old books. "I study human history," Kyung-ho said. "I research what humans have done to each other over thousands of years." "Surely a species fighting for survival would work together," Brundok asked hopefully. "Humans are tribal," Kyung-ho explained. "We form groups. Sometimes these groups fight other groups. When humans fight, we fight to win." The screen showed old paintings of human battles. Thousands of warriors with swords and spears fought across bloody fields. "This is the Battle of Gettysburg," Kyung-ho said. Over 160,000 human soldiers fought for 3 days. More than 50,000 died. 50,000? Kashara's voice was barely a whisper. That was a small battle, Kyung-ho said calmly. The Battle of Stalingrad lasted for months. Over 2 million humans fought. Most of them died. The aliens stared in shock. The numbers were too big to understand. Humans developed weapons specifically to kill other humans, Kyung-ho continued. Swords, spears, guns, bombs. Each generation made better weapons than the last. The screen showed pictures of human weapons through history, from simple clubs to modern missiles. We created chemical weapons that melt human flesh, Kyung-ho said. Biological weapons that spread disease. Explosives that can destroy entire cities. And you use these weapons? Veltar asked in horror. Many times, Kyung-ho replied. But then we created something even more dangerous. The screen showed a massive explosion. A mushroom-shaped cloud rose high into the sky. Nuclear weapons, Kyung-ho said. One bomb can destroy a city of millions. The radiation makes the land poisonous for decades. You have such weapons? Brundok's stone body was shaking violently. We built over 70,000 of them, Kyung-ho said. Enough to destroy every living thing on Earth many times over. The council members looked like they might faint. We pointed these weapons at each other for 50 years, Kyung-ho continued. Any day, any hour, any minute, humans could have ended all life on our planet. But you did not, Kashara said hopefully. No, we chose not to use them. Humans decided that destroying each other would be wrong. A new person appeared on screen. This was Sunmi Bae, the psychologist they had seen before. The amazing thing about humans, Sunmi said, is not that we fight. It is that we choose to stop fighting. How is this possible? Veltar asked. Humans can feel empathy, Sunmi explained. We can understand how other humans feel. Even when we are angry, we can choose to be kind instead. The screen showed humans helping each other, people sharing food, building houses together, caring for the sick. After our worst wars, humans work together to rebuild, Sunmi said. We help our former enemies. We create laws to prevent wars from happening again. But you still have weapons, Brundok pointed out. Yes. But we also have something else, Sunmi said. Hope. A young man appeared on screen. This was Woo Jin Ko, wearing heavy winter clothing and breathing hard in the cold air. I am speaking to you from Mount Everest, he said, the tallest mountain on Earth. The camera showed a view of snow-covered peaks stretching to the horizon. This mountain is 29,000 feet high, Woo Jin said. The air here has almost no oxygen. The cold can freeze your skin in seconds. The wind can blow you off the mountain. Why are you there? Kashara asked in confusion. I am climbing to the top, Woo Jin said with a smile. Hundreds of humans do this every year. For what purpose? Veltar demanded. Because it is there, Woo Jin replied. Because it is difficult. Because when we reach the top, we prove that humans can do impossible things. The screen showed other humans climbing the mountain. They moved slowly through deep snow, carrying heavy packs, struggling for every breath. Some of them will die, Woo Jin said calmly. About 1 in 10 humans who try this mountain never come back. We know this. We climb anyway. This is madness, Brundok said. This is humanity, Woo Jin replied. We do not just survive danger, we seek it out. We test ourselves against impossible odds because it makes us feel truly alive. The screen showed humans doing other extreme activities. They jumped off cliffs with cloth wings. They dove into caves deep underground. They sailed small boats across violent oceans. These activities serve no practical purpose, Sunmi explained. Humans do them purely for the challenge. We call it adventure. But why risk death for no reason? Kashara asked. Because, said a new voice, humans believe some things are worth dying for. An elderly woman appeared on screen. This was Young Suk Park, 95 years old, sitting in a garden full of flowers. I have lived on Earth for 95 years, she said with a gentle smile. I have seen wars, diseases, earthquakes, and storms. I have buried friends and family members. I have been afraid many times. The council members leaned forward to listen to this ancient human. But I have also seen humans do amazing things, Young-suk continued. I have seen them risk their lives to save strangers. I have seen them share their food with hungry enemies. I have seen them work together to cure diseases and end wars. She pointed to her garden. These flowers grow in soil that contains the ashes of dead humans. Beauty comes from death. Life comes from destruction. This is the way of Earth. How do you bear to live with such constant danger? Veltar asked softly. Danger makes life precious, Young-suk said. When you know you might die, every day becomes a gift. Every friendship becomes important. Every moment of happiness becomes perfect. The old woman picked a rose from her garden. Its thorns drew a drop of blood from her finger, but she smiled. Pain reminds us we are alive, she said. Fear makes us careful. Death makes life worth living. The council chamber was completely silent. The 5 most dangerous beings in known space sat in stunned silence, trying to understand what they had heard. You embrace your death world, Veltar finally said. Earth is not our death world, Daeho said quietly. Earth is our home. The word home hit the council members like a physical blow. They finally understood what they were dealing with. Humans were not survivors of a death world. They were a species that had turned survival into an art form, and they were not even finished. Yet, the council chamber was silent except for the sound of 5 alien beings trying to breathe. Veltar's scales had turned completely white. Keshara was making tiny clicking sounds. Brundok's stone body vibrated with fear. There is one more thing you should know, Daeho said quietly. More? Veltar's voice was barely a whisper. Yes. You need to understand what Earth means to humans. A small boy appeared on the main screen. He looked about 8 years old and was playing in a park. This was Ji-hoon Lim. Hello? Ji-hoon said with a big smile. He was speaking from a playground in Seoul. My name is Ji-hoon. The boy was hanging upside down from metal bars, spinning around with no fear. What are you doing? Keshara asked weakly. Playing, Ji-hoon said happily. This is my favorite playground. See? The camera showed children running, jumping, and climbing on tall metal structures. They swung on ropes over hard ground. They slid down steep slides at dangerous speeds. Are your parents not worried? Brundok asked. Why would they worry? Ji-hoon asked, confused. This is normal. All human. Children play like this? The boy jumped down from the bars and ran to a pond. Watch this, he said, and jumped into the water fully clothed. I am learning to swim, he explained, splashing around. Sometimes I go underwater and hold my breath. It is fun. The council members watched in horror as the child deliberately put himself in danger over and over again, laughing the entire time. Do you know your planet is dangerous? Veltar asked the boy. Ji-hoon looked confused. Dangerous? Earth is not dangerous. Earth is beautiful. The child pointed to the sky where clouds were forming. Look, it might rain. I hope there is thunder and lightning. I love storms. You love storms? Keshara could barely speak. Yes, they are so pretty and exciting. My dad and I watch them from our window. Sometimes we go outside and feel the rain on our faces. The boy smiled so happily that it hurt to look at him. He had no idea that he was describing behavior that terrified the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. Another person appeared on screen. This was Young-suk Park again, the 95-year-old woman from before. I want to tell you something important, she said from her garden. I have lived through 95 Earth years. I survived a war, 3 earthquakes, dozens of storms, and 2 diseases that almost killed me. She held up a flower that was bright red with sharp thorns. This rose is dangerous, she said. Its thorns can cut you, but look how beautiful it is. The old woman smelled the flower despite the thorns. Earth is like this rose. It can hurt you, but it is also the most beautiful place in the universe. How can you say that after all? The danger you have faced? Veltar asked. Because of all the danger I have faced, Youngsuk replied. Every sunset is more beautiful when you know it might be your last. Every friendship is more precious when you know you are both surviving. Together, she looked directly at the camera. You see Earth as a death world. We see Earth as home. A new face appeared. This was Seok Jin. Oh, a man with kind eyes and gray hair. He wore simple clothes and sat in a quiet room. I am a philosopher, he said. I think about the meaning of life. What have you learned? Brundok asked. I have learned that humans do not measure a planet by how safe it is, Seok Jin said. We measure it by whether life can exist there. He gestured to a window that showed Earth from space, a blue and white marble floating in the darkness. Earth gives us air to breathe, water to drink, and food to eat. Yes, it also gives us storms and earthquakes and dangerous animals. But without these challenges, humans would never have learned to be strong. So you are grateful for the danger? Kishara asked in disbelief. We are grateful for everything, Seokjin said. The danger taught us to be careful. The storms taught us to build strong houses. The predators taught us to work together. The diseases taught us to heal each other. The screen showed humans throughout history, learning and growing and becoming stronger with each challenge they faced. Earth did not make us weak, Seokjin continued. Earth made us human. Daeho stepped forward one final time. He looked at each council member with calm, friendly eyes. You invited us here because you thought we were weak creatures from a soft world, he said. You wanted to laugh at us. The 5 aliens said nothing. They could not speak. But now you understand the truth, Daeho continued. We did not survive Earth. We thrived on it. We made it our home. We learned to love it. Taemin brought up one final image on the screens. It showed a map of human space, dozens of star systems with human colonies. These are the worlds where humans live now, Daeho said. Some are hotter than Pirion 3. Some have more radiation than Gamma Terminus. Some have acid rain worse than Koros. The council members stared at the map in growing horror. We call them challenging environments, Daeho said with a smile. We terraform them. We make them into homes for our children. Impossible, Veltar whispered. We were wondering, Daeho said. Would any of you like to visit Earth? We would be happy to show you around. The suggestion hit the council like a physical blow. Visit Earth? The thought was too terrifying to consider. Perhaps a nice, relaxing trip to the Amazon rainforest, Daeho suggested. Or maybe the Sahara Desert, very peaceful and quiet there. Veltar could not form words. Oh, I know, Daeho said with enthusiasm. You could come during hurricane season. The storms are beautiful this time of year. Kishara made a sound like a scream, but tried to hide it behind clicking noises. Or, if you prefer winter, you could visit Antarctica, Daeho continued. Lovely ice storms and temperatures that drop to 100 degrees below freezing. Brundok's stone body was now shaking so hard that small pieces were falling off. We understand if you are busy, Taemin added helpfully, but the invitation is always open. Humans love having guests. The 5 council members looked at each other with eyes full of terror. They had invited humans to prove they were weak. Instead, they had discovered that humans were the most terrifying species in the galaxy. And the humans did not even realize it. The vote, Veltar finally managed to say. We must vote on human membership. All in favor of granting humans immediate membership in the Deathworld Council? He asked. 5 hands, claws, and appendages shot up instantly. Welcome to the council, Veltar said weakly. Thank you, Daeho said with a warm smile. We look forward to working with you. Earth is always open for visits. As the council meeting ended, Daeho and Taemin walked back to their ship. Behind them, they could hear strange sounds from the council chamber. Sounds like crying, screaming, and praying to various alien gods. I think that went well, Daeho said to Taemin. Yes, Taman agreed. They seemed very interested in Earth. Neither human understood why the council members had seemed so upset. They had just been describing normal life on their beautiful home planet. As their ship flew away from Station Omega 7, word was already spreading throughout the galaxy. The humans had been accepted into the Deathworld Council. But more importantly, everyone now knew the truth. Humans were not just another species. They were the beings who looked at a planet that tried to kill them every single day and called it home. They were the creatures who turned survival into art and danger into entertainment. They were humans, and they were the most terrifying thing the galaxy had ever seen. The council members spent the rest of the day in emergency therapy sessions, trying to process what they had learned. None of them would ever look at their own dangerous worlds the same way again. Compared to Earth, their planets seemed like peaceful vacation resorts. And somewhere in the galaxy, human children were playing outside in thunderstorms, laughing as lightning lit up the sky. Because that was just another normal day on Earth.